Hello, thank you for tuning into Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Welcome to News at Noon. These are the top stories we're tracking. Minister Indar urges private sector must independently assess needs of oil industry. Johnson & Johnson vaccine to arrive next month, says Health Minister. And UT student loses control over vehicle, one injured, another dead. Magistrate withdraws arrest warrant requested by GEA for fuel dealer. Agri-Minister instructs NDIA to hold payments after pledged Anchor residents report incomplete works. Meanwhile, GTT finally signs labour agreement for better wage and salary increases for employees. Meanwhile, UK sanctions Equatorial Guinea leaders' son over lavish lifestyle spending. And to wrap things up, patient at GPHC believes he was abandoned by relatives, palms unable to house him. Stay tuned to stay informed.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
I'm in a rush. Digital got me in a rush. Driving style for the summer. Digital summer rush.
Nobody's doing it big like Digicel this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more and collect the letters to spell the word RUSH for a chance to win one of 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs. Yes, you heard it right. 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs.
Driving style for the summer. Hey, Digicel summer rush.
Start topping up now.
And now for the news in detail. The private sector must do its own assessments of the needs of the oil industry if it intends to grasp as much opportunity as possible for locals, advised Minister within the Ministry of Public Works Diorat Indar on Thursday last. The minister, who has responsibility for oil and gas, made the remarks at the launch of a training center by the Guyana Oil and Gas Energy Chamber. The minister commended the oil chamber for launching a training center so locals can be satisfied to take up roles in the industry. The government is conducting a needs assessment in order to inform its regulatory work. It is preparing to mandate quotas must be carved out for locals in all the aspects of the oil industry, where locals have the capacity to provide goods and/or services. And coming from CNN, Britain on Thursday last sanctioned the son of Equatorial Guinea's president for misappropriating millions of dollars, which London said was spent on luxury mansions, private jets, and a $275,000 glove worn by the late Michael Jackson. Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said Teodoro Obiang Ming, who is also vice president of Equatorial Guinea, had participated in corrupt contracting arrangements and soliciting bribes to fund a lavish lifestyle inconsistent with his official salary as a government minister. Teodoro Obiang, the Equatorial Guinea government did not immediately respond to a request for a comment from Reuters. Britain said Obiang had brought a $100 million mansion in Paris, a $38 million private jet, a luxury yacht, and dozens of luxury vehicles, including Ferraris, Bentleys, and Aston Martins. And moving on. The United States of America's Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine that was procured by the government at some $7.5 million is expected to arrive in the country next month. This is according to the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, during his recent daily COVID-19 update. The minister, during an interview last month, had noted that the country was able to source the vaccine through a partnership between CARICOM and the African Union. The African Union had collected a total of 1.5 million doses for the Caribbean, and out of that amount, Guyana is expected to receive some 150,000 doses. Previously, the health minister had mentioned that when these vaccines arrived, they would be distributed to the hinterland. And moving on, after losing control of his vehicle, a University of Guyana student is now in police custody after crashing into a fence and colliding with 2 pedestrians, resulting in the death of one of them. The incident happened on Thursday afternoon at 17:45 on the D. Willem public road on the west coast of Demerara. According to a surveillance video that captured the catastrophe, 39-year-old Sahadio Singh of Hydroni and the driver of the motor pickup bearing license plate number GPP 8150 were traveling along the roadway. The driver indicated that he was going to make a right turn onto Harikisun Street. However, Tyree Leah Ping, aged 21, the driver of the silver Toyota Allion, was proceeding at a fast rate and overtook two vehicles before colliding with Singh's vehicle just as he was about to turn. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. We will return after the break.
Weak systems of governance and the absence of the rule of law both combine to form the perfect stage for corruption to flourish. As part of our anti-corruption fight at Kaieteur Radio, we invite you to join us every Tuesday evening from 7:30 p.m. as we embark on a most needed quest to remove the tentacles of corruption from our systems. See you then for our latest program called Governance, Corruption and Justice.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. The Georgetown Magistrates Court has withdrawn an arrest warrant that was issued for Principal Director for SBF International Inc., Dorwin Bess. The warrant was requested by the Guyana Energy Agency after the entity sought to pursue private court action against the businessman in relation to fuel transactions conducted last year. An attorney at law retained by Bess explained to Kaieteur that the warrant was recalled at the magistrate's discretion. Meanwhile, during a meeting with residents of plagued Anchor on the east bank of Berbice on Saturday last, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa instructed the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority to withhold payments to contractors who have failed to complete works in the village. This decision was made after several residents raised concerns about incomplete works that were carried out in the community. They told the minister that only a small percentage of the works were carried out and that when they questioned the contractor, they were told that the conditions were not favorable to complete the projects at hand. One farmer who was present at the meeting told the minister that one of the reasons he experienced severe losses during the flooding was due to the fact that the canal in his area had not been desilted. Another resident who raised a similar issue said that water levels would have receded if works were carried out in the canal. And moving on, following years of protest action and months of negotiations, the Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company, or GTT, recently signed a collective labor agreement for better wages and salary increases for its employees. The agreement was signed in the boardroom of the Ministry of Labour on the Brickdam, Georgetown, last Friday between GTT and the Guyana Postal and Telecommunications Workers Union. According to a press statement, both parties finally came to an agreement after the Ministry of Labour was able to put an end to the month-long negotiations. With the signing of the labour agreement, GTT employees are expected to receive 4% and 6% wages and salary increases. The union had proposed a 9% increase, while GTT had proposed a 1% and 2% wages and salary increase. Eventually, both parties settled on a 4% and 6% increase, with 4% being for October 2020 to September 2021, and 6% for October 2021 to September 2022. A formal indication of this second discussion was given, and this led to the signing of the collective labor agreement. And now we've come to our coronavirus update. The country has seen a total of 22,150 COVID-19 cases, with total deaths at 527. Total recoveries now stand at 20,582. Meanwhile, the country is seeing 1,041 active cases with 11 critical. Before we wrap things up today, let's head over to the page 7 of the Kaieteur News that is dedicated to being blunt. President Ali had promised during his inauguration that he would listen to all Guyanese and work with all of them for the benefit of them all. But why does he continue to ignore the calls of Guyanese to renegotiate the unfair Stabroek Block production sharing agreement? We feature on a daily basis the pictures of more and more Guyanese calling for the renegotiation of a deal that his Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, recently admitted is lopsided. We therefore ask, when will the President of Guyana listen to the people and demand that they get what they deserve? With that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. Kevin Smith here. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different